What's up, guys? This is Helium Lemon 15. Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and this is part 28. Today is September 3rd, and in 2 days is my official back-to-school date. So that's kind of exciting, I guess. You get the ferry. Yes. So just for context, this is post-commentary, and I'm doing this after I've played the Snowhead Temple. So just for anybody who doesn't understand how that works, I played the Snowhead Temple, I had my friend over, and we commentated it together, but I did that before I'm commentating over this footage, which in the game happens before I go through the Snowhead Temple. So that's fun. I like snowy areas, as I mentioned before. I like them a lot in video games. And this one is, it's pretty simple, honestly, but it's, I don't know, I still like it a lot. And now that we have the Lens of Truth, we can kind of see this invisible ladder. And that's not the right way to go. And this is, I don't know, this is kind of stupid. It's not that bad. So, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. This is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and I like how he's just invisibly climbing a wall. And I don't know. Life is good. Actually, life is interesting. You know, you have just these times when life seems to be okay, but you're never sure. You're never, like, emotionally stable. So, but it's come to the end of summer, like, vacation, and I got to do a lot of cool stuff on this vacation, as I probably mentioned in the past couple of videos, and I just thinking back on it, oh, no. Just thinking back on it, I have no regrets. I really don't. I think this summer was just good. It was good for me in a lot of ways, and time to, I don't know what I'm gonna have for lunch today. Maybe I should have some, I don't even know what I'm gonna have for lunch today. That's also not interesting, but it's also interesting if it's, like, if it's weird. Like, you say, like, oh, I'm gonna have, like, Doritos for lunch. No, that's not interesting. Oh, I'm gonna have frog eyes for lunch. There you go. That's interesting. People want to know about that. And oh, look at us. There we are. So we have a freezing guy and a guy who's literally encased in ice, which is kind of sad. Even worse, my brother has been frozen solid. What? Hot spring water? There's no use in crying over spilt rocks. That's kind of cheesy. I wonder if they have a saying like that in Japan, so they... I don't know, because, you know, you'd never know, like, what the difference is between the original game and the US game. Speaking of which, I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but, by the way, this Gravesite and, like, the atmosphere and the way the light comes from the ceiling and just, like, the really weird, bizarre colors... It just has this really cool, eerie feel to it, and I've been, like, watching a lot of Twin Peaks, and I like things that just feel eerie. So, I don't know, I took a moment to appreciate the grave, or whatever you call this place. The Soaring One said the one who could see would be arriving soon. I am Darmani III. The blood of proud Goron heroes runs in me. But when I was alive, I was a renowned warrior and veteran. Yes, when I was alive. I was fine until I marched off to Snowhead by myself, hoping that I could drive off a demon. It had been wreaking havoc on Goron Village, then the blizzard at Snowhead blew me into the valley. How infuriating! As I am, I can only watch as Goron Valley is slowly buried in ice. So, you can use magic? I beg you, bring me back to life with your magic. Ooh, speaking of food, I'm really craving a donut right now. Heal my sorrows. Pretty obvious clue what we have to do here, but, yeah. I love when I go back through these videos and watch them sped up. So, blurry visuals, I must point them out every time. So here we just kind of get a reflection into Darmani's mind and like the emotions that he's going through, which I really appreciate that aspect of the game's storytelling. So he's weeping, and then as soon as he sees us, he stops weeping. He's like, this is what I must do, and he gives up his spirit or something. I don't know. And there's his spirit, encased in a mask. I leave my undying feelings with you. And you get... It looks very much like a lemon head. But yes. The first, by the way, the first Zelda games that I became familiar with were the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons games, because I watched a Let's Play of them on YouTube. And when I saw like the Gorons on the Game Boy Color, I just thought they looked like lemon heads. And it wasn't until like I saw like the... I mean, they're honestly not much more... I mean, they're like rock-dwelling people that their heads kind of look like lemons. Oh, and then... oh, I love this. Your heart is filled with compassion. Something, something. Spikes will emerge from their bodies. But they sink in water. And then you get to read how to fight. The feared Goron punch. It's interesting that the controls are like inscribed on a gravestone. That's kind of clever. And yes, you can just... That's my favorite mode of travel in the game, is the Goron roll. It's just like, it's so intense. Just like... Makes me want to play a Sonic game where I can just go everywhere, like, insanely fast. Speaking of fast, I remember I talked a little bit about how interesting I found PanInchoate videos. I think it's actually pronounced PanInchoate, but it's like the Dutch word for pancake. But it's this YouTuber that like uses emulators and uses all these things to like break the physics, not only analyze but like break the physics of Mario 64. And like he's done all these things like these insane speed glitches where you have to like build up speed for 12 hours and then warp to a parallel universe. I think everybody knows that I'm talking about the Watch for Rolling Rocks 0.5 A presses. It's so insane how he breaks the physics of Mario 64. I mean, it's not surprising that it's Mario 64 because Mario 64 is like the game to break the physics of if you're going to like who still plays Mario 64 normally? Like, honest question. But anyway, his videos are really interesting, and he'll do like specific levels in like 1 A press or as few A presses as possible, or like use various glitches to get the max amount of coins in a level, or like all these things. Oh, I like this. Did you hear this guy? The great Darmani died long ago, and is Darmani! With this, a star of hope appears in Goron Village. And is it the movie The Star? No, it's not. It's not. It's Majora's Mask. We're playing Majora's Mask. Yay, rolling around. So, PanInchoate's videos are interesting. Another very interesting YouTuber that I have been watching recently is Summoning Salt, who does videos about speedruns. So, he might have a few, like, I think he has, like, Mike Tyson speedruns or something on his channel. I haven't really looked, but he has a lot of videos about the history of certain speedruns. So my first video of his that I watched was a video on Mario Kart 64. And, no, it was a video on Mario Kart 64, but specifically Choco Mountain, and like how these different techniques evolved to skip over Chocolate Mountain, or Choco Mountain. Choco Mountain. Choco Dial. Yeah, I'll stop. Chocolate. Just goes into a trance over the word chocolate. Covered bridges. Also, I totally failed to do anything with these huge rocks. I was just, like, fascinated with their existence. Another place with, like, a really weird and kind of, like, interesting color scheme. Like, a lot of, like, dark greens and purples. Which, I like this game because it has some, like, things that it does that it, like, experiments with weird color schemes. I don't know. It's known for, like, being the most atmospheric Zelda game. Although maybe Breath of the Wild tops that? I don't know. I'd rave too much about Breath of the Wild. Anyway, I was talking about Summoning Salt and how he did a video on Choco Mountain, and like how there's this trick called the Weather Tanko, where you like hop to the top of the mountain and then go back a little bit, and then that counts as a lap. But you have to do like an insanely like frame perfect glitch to get to the top of the mountain. So here's the random dad. But you're supposed to be dead. Maybe this is also the doing of Snowhead's magic power. Humph, I've been made a fool of. But that's impossible. I refuse to flinch. What? My son is crying because he misses me. See, we surprised him. And then that disbanded the illusion for a little bit. That's some interesting... You can study that if you're a psych major. I don't know. Feel pity for my crying, then please quietly sing my son. The very same melody that was played for... What did he say? Played for you when you were young? Does he know Darmani? Everyone is connected. Everyone is connected through Kevin Bacon. Boom, boom, boom. Now I can actually, like, with my headphones, I can hear the correct pitches of these drums. Because, like, before I could only, like, hear the overtones. But they are actually playing the same pitches. See, with those, it's hard to tell because, like, the overtones are much strong. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It doesn't, like, sound like they're the right pitches, but, like, you can actually hear, like, a very deep kind of, like, bass pitch. That's the same, that would be, like, the same pitch as if you were to play it on the ocarina. It just, like, several octaves down. That's another thing I love about this game. Like, it's no spoiler that there are several different instruments in this game. There's the ocarina, there's the drums, there's a guitar that you'll see a little bit later. And there's that's it. Oh, and there's the Deku pipes, the 5-pronged trumpet that we unlocked a little bit earlier. Well, speaking of which, I went through Woodfall Temple and I collected all the stray fairies, but I can't remember if I actually turned them in. Because I looked up what the different rewards for, and I probably could go back and watch the footage, but I have a feeling that I did not turn in the stray fairies after Woodfall Temple. Because, you know, it's because there's a lot of distracting stuff that kind of happens at the end of Woodfall Temple. Like, you have to turn in the princess right away or she'll complain. And turning in the princess basically is only for this Mask of Sense. So, it's kind of worthless, but whatever. What can you do? It's just to make you feel happy inside that the monkey did not go unreasonably punished. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I probably forgot about the Woodfall Temple fairies. I almost forgot about the Snowhead fairies, but then I turned them in real quick before I turned off the game. I like how this baby just, like, randomly, like, stands up and is suddenly, like, mentally mature to sing this melody from memory. It's very weird. It like it's very weird. It surprises you. A lot of things in this life are surprising. You played the Goron Lullaby. And even in his dreams, he is cold. You found the... Yeah. It's just like Daddy's right beside me. And then he just becomes like a egg. This lullaby blankets listeners in calm while making eyelids grow heavy. I love that. It's so silly. So we're done here for a little bit. There's the famous rotating chandelier, but we're not going to mess with it right now. Boom. Nothing. Sped up Goron music. Incredibly fast Goron dance. What next? So really we just got to make our way back to Snowhead. Alright. Actually, we haven't seen the actual area... Actual. We haven't seen the area that leads up to the temple. And, now I'm just thinking about the temple, because I just did it. It's a fun temple. I enjoyed it. I guess I could talk about Twin Peaks. But, I don't know. It's a show. I love the atmosphere of it. I'm not like a mega fan of it, but I'm really glad that I watched it, and now my friend is kind of pressuring me to watch Firewalk with me and then the 3rd season. So I might. I kept telling him that like I'm not good with like very like violent or like disturbing things, but I mean, Twin Peaks, like the original like first 2 seasons is kind of disturbing, but like I didn't mind watching it at all. Plus, like, I think I know my limits. Like, when I'm watching something that's too disturbing, like, I'll know when to cover my eyes or when to kind of, like, skip past it. So, I don't know. Hopefully that's a mark of maturity. And I'm gonna punch this ice bat, but it freezes me. It's stupid. So then I'm gonna pound his eyes out. I'm gonna pound you. I'm gonna pound you. I'm gonna give you a... What's it? The San Francisco earthquake. I'm not even explaining that. The San Francisco earthquake has the something locked in a knot. When the janitor comes, he's like, just so you know, there's a hockey game tomorrow at noon. And then he turns off the lights. So welcome to Snowhead Temple. And we can't... This is apparently what killed Darmani. There's just a giant, like, icy wind coming from the temple's mouth. That's kind of strange. What could be the cause of that? Is it just... Well, kind of from this angle, the temple looks like a giant Freezard. But it's just a Goron. It's like a giant Goron that's just breathing ice. Which, if you've played some of the other Zelda games, Gorons live in fiery areas, so this whole part of the game is a little bit ironic, I guess. Anyway. Goron action. About to bust out some sweet djembe drumming. For all my African brothers out there who play the djembe, you're pretty cool and awesome because you play the djembe. So you played the Goron Lullaby, and this guy falls asleep, and he's just so confused. And his mind... Okay, well, next time things will happen. He just falls into the abyss. It's kind of, I don't know, dark. Anyway, next time more things will happen, so see you guys in the next episode of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Goodbye.